so my name is Rosie Hulse. I'm a desktop support technician working mainly in the Cardiff and Vale College for Circle IT. We mainly deal with support, so anything from monitors not working to patching ports and helping users with any problems they have. Originally attracting me to role at Circle was just how sort of varied the job description seemed. It was anything from work with like really specific products and helping users. There seemed to be a lot of in it which was about customer facing skills rather than just purely your technical. I think my background hospitality definitely helped me begin a role, definitely pick up this role, because I mean you play to your strengths, and I'm so new to the field of IT that I definitely want to play the strength that I have got those, good customer facing skills and real team player, and I love building relationships with people both in my team or with customers. So I really wanted to play on that, and then from there and getting the role I've been able just to build my technical skills just up and up. I've always loved computers. I still remember when I think I was 6 or 7, our parents buying us like the first tiny computer. And it was just amazing. And since then I was always a bit hooked. When I started building my own computers, learning everything about the specs, and then getting into the communities, both like in gaming and just the forums and just everything. I just kept following through with IT, so it's always been there. I still remember saying this after the interview. It was one of the best interviews I've ever had. It was super interactive. I mean, I sat in, the first interview was sort of more based on what you're looking for, why you're in IT, and a technical test. And one of the most important things I think came out of technical tests, there were a few questions I definitely knew, and there's some that I didn't, but what was encouraged in the interview was for you to troubleshoot. So if you didn't know the answer, you're encouraged to think about it. So like, what was the first step you would take to try and answer this? If you couldn't do this, would you do this? And it was more prompting you to think in the way you would in IT, because half the times you walk into a room, you don't know what the answer might be. And it's a case of troubleshooting and Googling more things and trying out more things that actually get the answer for you. And I think that was really encouraged throughout the interview. I felt really supported through the whole recruitment process. I think one of the biggest things that's pushed then in the second half of the interview was your personality. Because I mean, I think the wisest thing I've ever heard is when you go to an interview, you've obviously passed the first stage, you've got your qualifications, the CV has enough on there that they would consider you for the role, but the whole point of an interview is to look at you and be like, can I work with this person? So the second half of the interview was so based on your personality and how well you work in a team and whether you fit the role that they're going to hire you for. Because our team at Cardiff and Vale, it's a very small team. There's only 6 or 7 of us. So the fact that they took that so into account has been awesome. And I've come here and I've got along really well with everyone. I'm not afraid to ask any questions. They've been a really supportive team. And I think they really took that into consideration when they were looking at employing me. Research. Research everything. Like I said, when I first applied, I didn't realize walking into such a massive industry, there'd be so many avenues you could take. When I first started looking, I was looking just at cloud computing, and I took a step back and I noticed there's just so many different avenues. So coming into desktop support has opened my eyes to, starting from the level where you're going to touch all the technologies and you can build up from there. I think going in, I did loads of courses, just small day courses on the ticketing systems and just what exactly that role was going to entail. Yes, it is absolutely exceeded my expectations. Every day has been a school day. I've learned so much. I mean, I've touched on technologies and things that I wouldn't have expected as a first line. It's just been so varied. I've been taught how to patch ports, how to code in some Linux servers. It's been a bit of everything, and I hadn't anticipated that when I started. So I think one of the top things I would say for going into IT as your first job, or for some people who consider the industry, is just to research, look exactly at the position you'll be going in and sort of play that to your strengths. So as in desktop support technician had a big push on the aspect of the customer service aspect, being able to talk to people, being able to explain things in a way that everybody could understand, and that really appealed to me. So it's look into the role, look what things you already have in your work history that you can apply to it. Because it's not going to be a case of knowing everything, knowing every answer and being able to jump straight in and to be able to code and all the other things. It's actually taking a step back and being like, what do I have that I can apply to this role straight away? Oh, I think it's so important that women should definitely be told about the possibilities in tech industry. Because every course I've done and even now, there's such a disparity between men and women, and I can't say the answer for that. I'm not sure still what that is, and it must boil down to girls not being told that these opportunities are available. And I think just as time changes and we educate more people and have more sort of courses available, and like I said, that there is that disparity between men and women. And I think it can be quite daunting sometimes going into an industry where where it's a male-dominated environment. And I think the more that women are educated on that and the more opportunities they're given for that, then the more that will lessen, and just the more comfortable people will be in applying for those kind of roles.